Episode 586. Sarah's face is
so funny.
Your face was like, what is she about to do right now?
Yeah. And I was also thinking of how I'm about to respond to the text that I just got from the cute boy who I'm talking to.
Yeah, Sarah's not focused right now. She has
I
her
know.
mind
Get
on
the
other
game,
things.
Sarah.
That's all right. That's all right. People seem to like when I share little stories, so I have one for you today.
Yes.
About my life, which really, since I don't have a life, amounts to Peg's life, my mom.
This is called the Peg piece.
So you remember last we checked in with Peg. There was a grease fire in her kitchen, if you recall.
How rude of me to not even ask for an update.
Oh, there isn't one. It's just, it happened, and now she's in, the aftermath. Okay, but she's having one hell of a January because, well, I guess now it's February, but she's had a auspicious start to the new year. She, unfortunately, got scammed out of thousands of dollars.
No!
Yes!
Wait, how does she even have thousands of dollars?
That is such a good point. That is such a good point.
Susie!
Yeah.
Susie!
Yes.
Your mom is like, I'm sorry,
I know.
the ideal victim for this.
Oh, my God. I can't believe it took this long. I seriously can't.
Please tell us what happened.
Well, apparently this is sweeping the nation, this scam. So maybe just, listeners, if you get anything like this, be aware. Because of the fire, she had been having to buy a new stove and stuff, which is not typical. She normally doesn't have to buy big ticket items. And so she got an email that she thought was from her bank saying that they thought that maybe there was a fraudulent charge. And that made sense to her because she had just bought things she normally wouldn't. So she called the number, and they were super nice and professional and telling her, we want to help you. We see these fraudulent charges, but, we have to verify a few things. Which, then eventually they asked her for her social. Uh-huh. And she goes, I'm not supposed to give that out. Like, she's on the right track, she knows so it seems like, yes, you're so close to getting it. And then they're like, ma'am, look at your phone. The phone number that you see, now compare it to the phone number on the back of your debit card. It's the same phone number. And it was. Because they're very sophisticated,
No, I would fall for this. Now I'm going in my head, I'm like, shit.
Did I do that? And, they would never ask you your social. Your bank would never say, what's your social? Maybe the last 4 or something. But, so then they did the thing where they, send you a code, to verify it's you. It all seemed very legit. I'll give her that much. But, that was it. And then next thing she knew, they did it in, little tiny increments. So it was, 70 ATM transactions. Where they took the money. Or wiring or whatever, however they did it.
Oh my God. It's
a jungle out there. Yeah.
Really. Protect yourself.
I felt so bad for her because...
Oh my God. I feel so bad for her.
She's so nice and she really thought she did the right thing. She did not intentionally, screw up her life. But anyway, it's okay.
My heart just goes out to, her in that, because, did she even ask the right question? I would have fallen for that. I'm now I'm thinking somebody probably has because I'm
Sarah thinks she was scammed.
I'm watching my bank account, but I feel like at any moment I'm making this about me. That's terrible.
No, that's what I want. I wanted to tell it because I thought maybe somebody will get a call or something. Because my brother got the same one. His wasn't in an email, but it was on the phone. They called him. And he said it was very sophisticated and it almost got him. So it can happen to anybody. But especially Peg.
Oh, shit. Okay, good to know.
So there's that.
Maybe Sarah. I'm too trusting. Okay, this is good. We're doing the Lord's work out here, just saving lives. Yeah, this is you know what? There was that one person who had that mole.
Yes.
Susie.
Yes, she reported back and she said it actually was a problem.
So
and that she's so glad that she went in.
So far, one life saved. And now maybe some bank accounts saved, too.
Yes. You're welcome, everyone.
Yeah.
And Peg says you're welcome, too. So that's that. And God bless her. I hope things start to improve.
Oh, no. What are we going to do?
I know. I feel really bad because
Good thing she already bought the big ticket items.
Yeah. I mean, it is like, you can imagine if this is somebody who didn't even have a TV until they were like 12 because they were so new. I mean, you know, like she's getting up there and technology passes you by and you try to stay. Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
my mom was catfished. So
that's a way better story though to me.
Yeah, but
because she wanted the deep dickin', Sarah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say romance. Oh my God, I almost fell off my stool.
Romance. Romance isn't funny.
Right.
Okay.
Any hoodles.
Next funny story, just quickly, is that it's embarrassing, but I like to be tan. And obviously in Pittsburgh,
it's not embarrassing. I went to Costa Rica and I'm like, how am I 10 pounds like skinny? Look at I look so good in these shorts. And like,
true.
What happened to my cellulite? No, I just got a tan. That's it. That's what I said.
Everyone likes to be tan, I think.
I'm like a mole person.
But I like it enough to like go tanning, which is embarrassing.
Right. Oh,
I think we can all agree. That is not cool. And
Cancer Club.
No, I don't do that kind. It's spray.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say I didn't think you did.
No,
that's embarrassing to get this brand. Okay.
Sure. So, but then it's so expensive, and it just feels like there's a real racket. And so, I decided I'm going to just buy one. And so I bought this gigantic
a spray tan machine. You bought a spray tan machine? This is not a thing Susie does. This is a thing Sarah does. Okay, you've been rubbing off on me and it improves my life. I rub off on you and you make crazy decisions like this. Tell me everything about this story. I'm dying.
It sounds probably funnier than it maybe is, but it's not those big giant like standing up coffin kind. It's airbrush. So it's like the kind you would use to like airbrush a car. It's like handheld.
And you think you're going to do this to yourself?
Correct. Well, no, Adam's doing it, right? That's why this is hilarious.
I have so many questions.
So, like, you get this gun, essentially, like paint gun, and then you buy, like, this pop-up tent to get in so it doesn't get all over your shit. And so we get this thing, and then inside it says, like, you're supposed to take this class on how to use it. And it's called, wait, I'll show it to you.
Oh, my God.
Norvell University. Okay?
Stop.
It's called a university.
Stop. Stop. This is getting better. I did not think this story. This is not the direction. This is why I have to not interrupt, because this is not the direction I thought this was going to go in, and I'm loving every minute of this ride.
So it tells you need to take this training program at Norvell University. And so Adam...
I want to be the dean of that university. I feel like I have all the credentials.
Right? I should be like an honorary doctorate at that university. Okay.
Right.
So Adam took the course. He took the course. Sarah. It's the best ever. And he's like takes it really
Don't ever
seriously.
doubt his love.
For real.
Ever.
Real. And he is dead serious about it. And
Who
like
says chivalry is dead?
All the cleaning of it, like
of course he's serious, because I would be serious, and I'm like, yeah, of course you take that course.
Like he considers it like his duty now, that this is his responsibility to be in charge of my spray tans.
Oh my God, I love this. I am so jealous. This is not.
It is goals.
Fair.
I did feel that way.
Goals.
I was like, this is goals.
Okay, I have so many questions. Okay. First question. At what point, because you and I both know you are never going to be the person who is going to be administering this on your body. So as you were searching and like finding this, hunting this product out, You had to
No,
have
he
thought.
did. He did. I said,
That makes it even better.
I said, I really wish I had my own because it's so expensive, and I feel like it would pay for itself.
It would. I get it.
That is a call to action to my husband.
Yes.
And he's
Yes,
like,
it
I
is.
will find you it. I will get it, and I'll go to university.
Oh my god. So does he have like his what? A doctorate?
Yeah. He has his credentials.
Credential?
Well, because they assume that you're a tanning salon, and you want to you want to hang it up for your customers. Like, I know how to do this.
How much have you saved in beauty? Not in this. In all beauty app product, like this gal basically has a live-in dry bar at her house.
Dry bar. Right.
And then for those of you who don't live on, like, you know, in some city that's bougie where they have that is ridiculous, like Orange County, that's a place where you just go to get your hair blow dried and styled.
Yes. Yeah.
Something that Susie's husband does for her.
Yeah, he does.
On the regs.
He does. If it's ever curled, it's because he put it in hot rollers. God. I mean, he does. He's a gift.
I can't even get a guy to like
to get the vaccine. I'm just saying it.
Or
I'll beep
like,
it if you need me to beep it.
No, you can put that in.
Okay, good.
That's important to me. I was gonna go with like, tell me the truth about like.
Oh yeah, right.
Anything.
I know.
I'm gonna go with on it. Let's start there.
And the fact that I met him on a challenge, it's a miracle.
Cheesy, crazy.
I hit the jackpot. Okay.
Like
I've always said, if we ever break up, it'll be because I did something wrong.
I also think it's super hilarious that you and I both own a pop-up tent like that. Mine's to shit in the woods, and yours is to get a spray tan.
Right, it's totally opposite.
Right? Same product, two very different uses.
Okay, so anyway, I mean, there really isn't much to tell beyond the fact that he took the class, and we did do it. And the only other funny thing about it is that, you know how it's really cold when they do it? The liquid is so cold.
Yes.
And I don't know whether I forgot how cold it is or whether mine is like especially cold or what. But I was like I thought this sentence in my head while he was doing it. I thought, this is worse than anything I've ever done on the challenge. Like, it was so bad. And I don't know whether it's because I've been in my house.
Susie. Beauty is pain.
It's like, is this because I've been in my house for 2 years and I don't know what life is like?
This is the comfort crisis.
Yes. And in my brain, I thought, I need to
my spray tan hurts.
For real.
Susie's like.
And I said to stop at one point, but he didn't. He didn't stop. And then I was like, I said stop. And he goes, I thought you said fuck. Like, I mean.
Oh my God. This is great.
So if you see me with the nice bronze complexion, you can thank Adam Butler.
Well, now it's like when I come to visit, like I better be leaving with like a spray tan.
Right.
Like,
they'll be like, "Did you just go to like Cabo?"
Nope. Susie's.
I went to Pittsburgh.
I went to the butler's house.
Okay.
Think about how fucking lucky the woman who marries Lincoln is going to be.
Oh, that's nice thought.
I mean,
woman
the
or
modeling,
man. Woman or man.
Or man.
Yeah.
The model that he has for a relationship, for communication, for,
I'm the one that could screw that up because I'm like one of those moms that would probably be like, nobody's good enough for my baby.
You're not going to be like that. You're not. Because you said the same thing when you were like pregnant with Lincoln. You're like, I'm going to screw him up and blah, 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 and everything's fine. You do this.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. So, and so you're fine. You're not going to be like that. And you're going to be like, oh, thank God. And then you're going to have me to be like, we like that she's like you. Shh.
Yeah, right. Shh. But I have to thank you because you got me that shower cap that I love.
Oh,
and that really is handy during these sessions of spraying.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I know it sounds like a silly thing to like spend a little more on. Get yourself a
High
really
quality.
good, high quality shower cap, you'll only have one like for forever. It like
Yeah.
doesn't get moldy or anything like other ones do. Ugh.
Yeah,
And
you
she
should
doesn't-
put that on your thing. Link it because that thing is a great purchase.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but
It's
I
actually
get
called
shower.
shower cap.
It is.
Yeah.
That's right.
It has like 5 H's.
It's kind of like my version's woo.
Yeah.
But there's
Except about showers.
cap. Yes.
Okay, so there you go. That's my personal anecdotes
Love
for the
it.
day. You're welcome.
So good.
And then now we can move on to more brainy material. But first, I want to say if you are somebody that likes to stay organized with your colleagues or even your friggin' family or people at work, whatever, try Notion. It is a great service that'll help you like organize your tasks, keep things on schedule, and then you can like communicate with your whoever you're collaborating with. And I just think it's very easy to use, very intuitive, and just helps make life easy, which is what we're all kind of seeking. It's called Notion again, and it says it's one central and customizable workspace that can be tailored to fit any team and bring teams together. Because most people are still working from home, so this can come in handy for that too. Learn more and get started for free at notion.so. That's notion.so. You can check it out on your own, invite as many folks as you want to see how it works. Take the first step toward organized, happy team today, again, at notion.so. Yes. Okay.
I
First-
can't get over, and I'll never get over how adorable the background is. Guys, we do these videos. Some episodes we put up on Patreon.
Yeah.
and we got new background.
Again by Adam.
I can't stop staring at it. I mean, I can't.
Sarah's going to have one too whenever she's housed. There's like a green screen, and then there's different brain candy backgrounds that he made, and they're so cute.
It's like the cutest thing in the whole entire universe, and it's like so much fun to look at my own art, and I'm like, oh, that's the best. So
Yes. You and Adam. I mean, what more could I want? You're everything.
I'm obsessed.
Okay, first, I wanted to talk about this story that I read in thecut.com, which was about how in, different parts of the world, they handle lockdown and quarantine and COVID restriction differently. It just depends on where you live. Mm-hmm. And in China, it's really organized and sort of like severe, I guess you could say, where if there's an outbreak, like they are on it. Probably because they were the first people to have to deal with it, and so they're like, fuck this. So this gal went on a first blind date with this guy in China, and he wanted Chinese woman.
Okay.
And she wanted to cook for him, or he wanted to cook for her, so he invited her over. Mm-hmm. And then right while they were going to have dinner, the authorities are like, yeah, you guys can't leave. You're stuck here because we have an outbreak. Like, that's how severe it is.
On the first...
Can you imagine?
This could go one of two ways.
That's so true.
It's going to be an extreme.
Yeah. Like love or hate.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Okay. Let's think about every first date we've been on.
Yes. Oh, I already love this game.
What is the percentage of those that would be like you'd be happy to be stuck with them for a few days or a few weeks or whatever it is?
This is my problem. I think, to be honest, almost like 100% I would be okay with.
See, I think that's because you're great. This is my theory. I'm serious because I've had men be like, we have so much chemistry. And I'm like, we don't have chemistry. I'm just good at making you feel good, you dummy.
Right. That's what I do. And they all think that and I always say, I'm like, you're going to fall in love with me. It's like, not a matter of if, it's when. And when it did, and now yeah. Because then sometimes they'll say things like, I think I'm going to fall in love with you. I'm like, you think? I guarantee you that's going to happen. Yeah.
Yes. So
Problem.
I feel like most of what you're saying, I think I would attribute to you being so flexible and making the best of situations and really finding everything fun. Almost every disaster I've been in with you, you think is fun.
100%. This is true. Lights go. This is 100% true. 100% true.
And I think
every
that's why that
situation.
cockroach wetness story was so traumatic for you. It's like the one thing that wouldn't be fun for you.
I draw the line!
Right. But otherwise,
I
you're
don't
like,
even know if my voice has ever made that noise before. It kind of shocked me
that's
coming
the sound
out.
of trauma.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so you're saying like almost 100% of your first dates,
100
you would be happy to be with them for weeks, maybe.
I
That is
honestly
something else.
can only think. I was trying to go back in my brain. I think I've only been on 3 dates that I didn't end up dating the guy for a significant period of time.
See, I
Or
think
girl.
This is also because
Man
you're
or woman.
optimistic. You
Yes.
think people are going to be better than they are.
Correct.
That is such a liability.
So that's why I've never dated multiple people at the same time. Like, I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm
The
trying.
only time I did was when I first broke up with, when I first got divorced, I got separated, and I break up with you. Just
right
more
before
paperwork.
prom.
Yeah, right. And there were only 3 guys that I went on dates with, all 3 of which I could have spent a long time with. One I just think was suffering from serious depression at the time, so that I wouldn't have wanted to be with for 3 days. But in a better situation after some mental health care, maybe. But I don't know.
This
is not the point of the story.
Him. Okay, well, this sounds like my worst nightmare because, I mean, the odds of it being someone
What's the
you
percentage of you?
5% would be tolerable. But I mean, it's great for one date. I love a terrible one date. That's
Yeah.
great. Great for
Right.
stories. It's wonderful. But to be stuck with them? No.
Now, like,
way.
what would be the things? Tell me what would be the thing that would bug you the most? Like, think of a specific person that maybe not one that you were in a serious relationship with, but just one that you went on like a couple dates with or so.
Yeah.
And that you were like, you definitely like, no, I do not want to be stuck in that situation with them. What?
Well, you know, like know-it-alls. Those kind of guys that think the mansplainers, which, by the way, there are quite a number of them.
Yeah. I just go tit for tat with those guys.
You see it as like a competition?
Yeah. It's like I'm like, I see your
Your
podcast you
right?
did a couple times with a friend, and I raised you 586 episodes. Something like that.
So it doesn't make you mad when people try to act like they know more. What if somebody acted like they knew more about therapy because they went to therapy one time or something? That would make me nuts.
I would want to murder them.
Yeah.
No. Oh gosh.
You're so tolerant.
What I think I do is I can kind of, I don't know, get through that.
We're acting
Because
like
I just
we don't
be
know what
extremely
this
vulnerable,
is like.
and then
Hello, this is what the challenge is.
wait a sec.
Wait a minute.
Wait a sec.
Being locked up with people you don't really like.
Wait a sec. We've done this so many times.
We're like, can you imagine? Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I can. It's called my 20s.
Oh my God. And
And
you know
you
what?
know-
Tolerated it just fine.
Right. You did, and I did not.
Okay. We got a point. This is.
Because I'm like, I hate
This
you.
just is a sign of no personal boundaries I have, or something.
Well, you're very tolerant of
And
people,
too
which is
vulnerable.
nice. Well, this hooker started making videos and putting them on Weibo, which I guess is like the Asian, maybe TikTok or whatever.
Got it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And while she was still in this house with him, and then it started to go viral, and then she felt bad because like she didn't really like him. She was like, he's really nice. He makes food and stuff like that. His house is clean, but she called him a wooden mannequin. Like he was so boring. So bad.
Okay. See, this is the problem. I think we're not, you ladies and gentlemen, listening.
Ladies. Yeah.
You need to be better at vetting them.
Venting?
Vetting.
Oh, vetting. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Don't go on dates with guys who look boring.
Well, this is a cultural problem, though, because, in
there are
Asia,
very
if you're
few
not
women.
married by a certain point, then there's a lot of pressure to,
Yes.
and that's what she said, that she had a bunch of first dates lined up, blind dates.
Oh,
and this was just one
right.
of
It was
them.
a blind date. It was a
Yeah.
blind date.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do anything there.
Right, because people are like, you're not married yet? This is an emergency. You got to go out with
no.
this loser. And then
This
next
is a
thing you know-
nightmare.
yeah. But we
Yeah,
don't even know.
that
It's funny
sucks.
because she just stopped posting because she wanted to respect his privacy, so we don't even know if she's out of there yet.
Oh my. Okay.
It's a cliffhanger.
Which would you rather be stuck with?
Hmm.
A wooden mannequin or a know-it-all?
Oh, wooden mannequin for sure.
Okay, I'm taking know-it-all.
Are you kidding me?
Keeps things interesting. I'm gonna go back. It's gonna pass it. I'll take a little bit of they're highs and lows, but we'll take them.
Okay.
And the more I would get, the more know-it-all-y he would be, the more obsessed with squashing his male ego I would be.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
Like
And
there's
I think
no
that's
when
a good
I
choice
back
for
in
you.
the day when I don't know.
What were you
I don't know
going to
why I
say
did
just
this.
then?
Like what before I realized that this is no way to
You've evolved.
I don't know, fight the patriarchy.
Yeah.
I loved nothing more than to go to the kind of bars where those like douchebags
Yeah.
go in the like biggest platform shoes, like so tall,
Looking hot.
and then like just stand next to them and do things like ask them if I can buy them a drink. Like,
You did? And would they let
Oh.
you? Or do they
no,
feel like
most of them
that's
feel very
enough?
uncomfortable and like,
Yeah.
or I would do things whenever I don't know. I just went through this phase where I just kind of like enjoyed. I was like, oh yeah, you're gonna do. It's probably just like some way to like get back at relationships or people who are taking advantage of me, and I'm like not taking advantage of them, but I was like, you're gonna be a narcissist. Well, I'm gonna show you who's. I don't know. It's like a weird thing.
I get
Go
it.
and like tower over them and just make them feel small. I went through a phase where that was something that maybe
You know
because they
what?
made me feel small.
That's
But it
exactly
was
right.
like only my early 20s.
As soon as you said that, though, I thought of how whenever we were on the ruins and Kenny it was like a love-hate thing where he would
Yes.
torture you and say terrible things, but
Yeah.
you also had affection for each other and a good friendship in a way.
Yes.
And then how it hurt you. And for him, it was just like he was just keeping himself entertained.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did that back to them.
Yes. Right. That's what I
Thank
think.
you. That is
Yeah.
exactly what I was doing. I was like, okay, well, I've been
can play at
taking it
this
for a
game.
while. Let me dish it out a little bit because I'm done. And then I would just get and you know what? I kind of start talk like Kenny when I do that too.
Yeah.
So, I do.
It's an affect. I get it.
I totally do that. Yeah, it's probably, yeah, there we go. Look at that.
Well, anyways,
Therapy.
I don't know what
Woo!
happened. I don't know what happened to that girl, but I just wanted to tell you about it.
Man.
Okay, moving on. Oh, did you watch the film Don't Look Up on Netflix?
I sure did.
Oh,
I loved it.
I wondered if you would like it.
I
Tell me-
loved it.
So if you haven't seen it yet, this is
That's
a
so
movie
funny.
that is it's kind of like a dark comedy, maybe. I don't know. And
Yeah,
the
and like,
world-
not satire, but like,
kind of, yeah, like
kind of.
There are scientists that discovered that there's like a comet or an asteroid or whatever coming and is going to hit the Earth, and then the fallout of that and how nobody really believes them or cares and is like still focused on petty stuff. And it's supposed to be an allegory or whatever about climate change and how, like the world's going to end and we're just like buying stuff at Target or whatever.
Right.
So, but when I was watching it, I thought, I wonder if Sarah would like this because I don't usually watch scripted films. So
Yeah.
I thought I should bring it up because I never
I
do
loved
that.
it. What did you think?
Did it make you feel sad though?
Totally.
Yeah, that's how
Because I
felt.
knew the bigger I think that they were trying to reach people.
But they're preaching to the choir though. Like most
Yeah,
of the
but I
people that
think
watch
they're-
that would probably already be concerned about climate change.
Yeah, but I think there might be a few. It's the ones who are like on the fence, or the ones who maybe feel like, oh yeah, but what, it's not like I don't believe it happens, but I'm not going to do anything, or something like that. I
Yeah.
think, or maybe kind of who are interested in watching that movie because everyone in the universe is in that movie. So I think that was really smart of whoever the producers or, people who made the movie to do. I don't know why I want to say Leonardo DiCaprio. Was he a producer? Was he involved in making this? Because
No.
I know he was in it.
The guy
Was he in it?
Yeah, he was in it.
Oh my God, it's like I can't even. I'm like, did I watch it?
He's like the main character.
I know, but then I'm like confusing, and then I'm thinking like, is this just part? Listen, it was a long month. I listened to it while I watched it while I was with my mom, like right before I left for my mom. So, and it was a while ago.
It's funny that you mentioned the guy that made it because it was he used to be the writing partner and business partner of Will Ferrell, but they have since like parted ways, and he's said in an interview how ironic it is to him that during the press for this, that's all anyone wants to talk about and not talk about climate change because it's mirroring the movie.
Yes.
We care more about this like petty celebrity gossip and like, why did you guys break up than we do about like the actual point of the
Oh
film.
my God, it's so depressing. Yeah, it was really sad. And he was like, well, this is already happening and is going to happen and we can see it happening. And
Well, lately you've been talking on the show about whether or not you would want to start a family. Yeah. Whenever you're thinking about that, do you consider these kind of macro things like
absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
And that's why I'm like, no.
Yeah, because I can see that.
I would want to be able to give a child a very specific life that was not sheltered from what's going on, but like I just feel like the things that that humans need to survive and thrive, are becoming less and less available. And I think there's less and less support for us to be able to have those kind of things like time together, like, because jobs, because like, it's just crazy. I mean, we can't, I look all those things that I see where it's like the price of a home. I looked at what my mom was making and like because she's like, I'm doing like all of her like Medicare stuff and stuff like that. I'm like, you bought the house that we lived in? I'm making way more than that. How come like what? This is crazy. So you can't, it just like everything is such a strain. And there's no support, and there's no like early childhood, like it's difficult.
It is every man for himself. That's what it feels like.
It's every man for himself. It feels too, because that's what happens when we feel like we're in danger, when we feel unsafe, and the whole, don't even get me started. This is a whole fucking thing, because it's capitalism, and it's consumerism that I really don't like, because the way I know this, because I went to school and learned this in psychology. They taught us to do this and how people do this. The way to sell to people is to make them feel not okay. Mm-hmm. Making people feel not okay. When we are getting messages, like I don't know how many it is. I can't remember the exact number. But when I was working in San Francisco, I used to pass by this billboard that said it was for, I want to say Marc Jacobs or something, and it was like, you're on camera like this many times a day. Make sure you look good. And then there was another one that said, you see this many advertisements a day, like something about like, it gave the number of how many advertisements we saw a day. And it was in the tens of thousands that are very subliminal. And if tens of thousands of advertisements that are making you feel not safe. And I know this because of the book, What Happened to You, that we read, where it talked about the neuropsychology of what happens to the brain when it's at different states. And the brain acts differently when it is experiencing fear, terror, alert, alarm, and calm. A state of alert is a perfect state for people who are buying things. A state of alarm is perfect for people who are feeling like a state of fear is perfect if you want to sell cosmetics. It's perfect. So they want to keep you in those states. When you are in those states, you cannot regulate your system. You cannot stay present. You have more anxiety, more depression. You have lower IQ. This is fucking fact. So it terrifies me to think about raising a child in a world where they are bombarded with messages that are designed to put them in a brain state that is dangerous to them. And so I, as a parent, would want to actively work to maintain a calm brain state. That's it. And that is an almost impossible task in this day and age. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
It makes me sad now. I feel like I'm going to cry.
Oh, no, don't cry.
I just feel bad for all the parents out there who have to deal with that and have to talk, Faith, you. You have what do you do?
That's why I asked you if you think about that, consider that when you're weighing what you want, because I think about that now. Like, what have I done?
It's so hard.
The world is messed up. But to speak to your point about the fear and the way that it generates the commodification of everything and the consumerism of everything. I'm reading a book right now, totally coincidentally, by the same author as your Brain Candy Book Club philosophical baby.
Get out.
Yeah. And
Susie, that was such a random pick, too.
Yeah.
And her book is from
Alison Gopnik. It's called
The Universe is Awesome.
The Carpenter and the Gardener, I think. And she talks about how until the 1950s, the word parent was a noun. It was not a verb. It wasn't a thing you did in the same way that I don't daughter to my mom. I'm not daughtering. Like, you were a parent. And that as soon as they kind of made it like it's a verb, then they could commodify it and build this industry, making you feel like you're not doing it good enough. And that...
Fuck all of that!
And so as long as you make people think that they need to be better in whatever way, they need to be thinner, prettier, younger, a better parent, whatever, you can make money off of them.
So fucking stupid.
And, that if there really were a book or a program that could teach you how to parent every child, that book would put every other thing in that industry out of business. The reason why it's a booming industry is because there's not a silver bullet. There's not one way to parent. Mm-hmm. Every human's different, blah, blah, blah.
God.
So I agree, and it all does come back to that film, because that's the whole point, is that, we're not in a vacuum where, okay, there's a comet coming, so now we need to act. There's there's politics, there's greed, there's relationships, and that they cloud our ability to see what the best path is, right? And it is sort of depressing.
Absolutely.
But anyway, you should watch that movie, because it actually is it's really good.
It's great.
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
Oh,
Next
God. And then I saw this meme that was like a little car crossing a railroad track or something like that, and then a huge speeding bullet like taking it out, and the car, it'll say little things above it. The car said, "Me separating my recycling into each thing," and then the speeding bullet one was Jeff Bezos and all those fucking millionaires going up in their stupid rocket ships for. I mean,
it's really hard to understand.
What am I doing over here?
I know. Remember last episode when Sarah was riding high? I brought her right back down to earth. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, God.
Well, we're just trying to make the best of it.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Speaking of grief, I read this beautiful piece in the New Yorker. It's called... I
just can't help thinking of Michael Scott saying, there is good grief. Just ask Charlie Brown.
That's my favorite oxymoron. My other favorite is soap scum.
Oh, I've never heard that as an oxymoron. I'm so glad I know these things about you.
Wait,
So those are your favorite?
You know that there's...
Yes.
Oh, okay. Got
I
it.
totally get it. Soap and scum.
I'm just waving to Adam. He's walking up the old path with some wood.
Hi, Ad.
Some wood for the fire.
Hi.
He's so cute. In a wheelbarrow. How cute is he? Okay. Wait a minute. What was I saying?
Soap scum is your favorite oxymoron?
Yeah, what's yours? Do you have one? Good grief is pretty much the perfect one.
I would have to have a think on it.
Yeah, we'll do a poll.
My brain just goes real quick to jumbo shrimp, but that's only because it's easy.
Jumbo shrimp. I forgot about that one.
Really? That's my favorite. Okay, that might be my favorite.
Because you're saying like that's too obvious, so you can't pick it.
It's too
but
obvious.
It's so good. Maybe it's obvious
so
because
good.
it's hilarious.
It's
Jumbo
so we're
shrimp.
gonna go. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, definitely tell us your favorite oxymoron.
What do you
Not
mean?
you. I'm talking to the listeners.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. Not you, Susie.
Them. Nobody gives a shit about yours. Okay, this article was called "When Things Go Missing," and it begins, talking about that very human experience of losing your keys or like forgetting your wallet or your mittens. Yeah, and how like disorienting it is, and explaining why that is. Which I will talk about. But what I loved about the article is that it was just magically written, moved into other losses, like when we lose people we love.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really hard thing to accomplish, to move from like, I lost my keys to I lost my dad or whatever. And it just was so beautifully written, and I want you guys to read it. I'll make sure Dahlia puts it in the newsletter. But it was saying how like parents, self-help gurus, psychics will help you find lost stuff. But most of their suggestions are either obvious, like calm down, clean up, or they use like the 18-inch rule, which I guess most things that we lose are within 18 inches of where we think they are going to be, which I find that very helpful.
I did not know that rule.
Yeah, like if you think it's in the
I don't
fridge.
know if this applies to people who are ADHD.
Right, maybe.
We put the remote control in the refrigerator.
Right. Maybe
I
you're
never
more
expected
extreme.
to be there.
And then, like new agey type advice
Well,
as
I was
well.
going to say like surrender.
Yes, that would probably fall into the new agey category. Like,
Yeah,
just let
I'm
it
like,
go
as soon
and
as
it'll
I
come back
admit
to you.
that I don't need it anymore and that it's
Yeah.
gone, I always find it. There it is.
So one survey suggested that the average person misplaces up to 9 objects a day, which that sounds high. Don't you think? Or is that low for you?
You know what? I would. At first, I'm like, that's really high. I do not.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm pretty good. But then, are we counting every time we're like, oh, where did I put those?
I think they must be.
I've already done it with my phone 9 times today.
It's just that.
Well, and also, in my defense, I don't have a spot for everything yet because I keep moving around. This isn't my house.
That
I'm in
is
a
so true,
rental.
Sarah.
So when I have a spot, the keys go in the hand bowl.
Yeah, right.
I got bowls that looks
have a
like 2
system.
hands like that. I've got a system. There is no system here, so I'm like, where the fuck? I don't know.
Right. Okay, that's fair because you're
I'm at
peripatetic
least 5
right now.
times that. Yeah.
Okay. And usually when we lose something, it's usually from one of two things. Either your brain can't do recall where it's in there, but like you can't access it for one reason or another, or you never encoded it to begin with. Like you weren't paying attention at that time.
These things are helpful to know.
I agree.
Because then you can hack your brain to not do
right.
this.
Okay,
Tell me everything.
Then it was saying how part of what makes losing something troubling is that there's an element of like causality, like how did that happen? And if you don't know where it is, you can't quite figure out how it happened, and like it's upsetting to your brain because your brain is designed to like know how things work.
That part gets you
survival.
caught up.
Yeah,
I can feel myself getting caught up in that part.
And then it leads to trouble because usually when something is lost, you are the villain and the victim in that story. So, like, you're probably going to feel like shit. Right?
You're right.
Yes.
Because I'm like, oh my God, where did I put that? Oh, God, can't you be more organized?
You're the best audience. Like, nobody would care about this but you. It's just like...
No, that is not true. Our listeners, I guarantee, because it's like what we said last episode, when we put all the pieces together of all these things, it's like, yeah, I of course know why. And then I read something the other day that said, it doesn't matter what you read, it matters what you retain.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you retain, it matters what you apply. So read to apply.
Ooh, okay. Right.
Yes.
And
that made me think of like, that is what we do because we read, you and I, in order to do this show, read to, what the hell did I just say?
Retain and apply.
Retain.
Oh my God. This is a case in point.
Yep. So read to retain, and then we have to apply it because we talk about it, and I think that helps when. So like they say, it's helpful to teach something,
yes,
or to tell. Like if you want to, if you're studying for a test,
yes,
or if there's something you want to deepen your knowledge about, teach it to somebody else,
right?
And
that's why
especially
I love
somebody
this
older
show.
or younger, an old person, young person, who maybe you need to kind of like explain it in a different way. Is so good for your brain.
What I love both about our job on this show, which is we tell you guys, but then we learn it better, and then you guys can tell it at your cocktail parties or wherever the hell you're going. Yes. And then you'll learn it better. It's so cool.
It's the best. It's the best. And come on, hello.
Otherwise we're awesome. Obviously.
I love it. I just it's so much fun to learn.
Okay, so then I love this. It says that's why the defining emotion of losing things isn't frustration or panic or sadness, but paradoxically hope. Because you hope you can find it, you're like, your brain goes into this hope mode. And that is why when you lose a person in death, it's a loss without hope. And I know everyone wants to believe after they die then they'll meet again, but that's hard for our brain, I think, to really conceptualize on a deep level.
Yeah.
So it's like a loss without hope.
Oh my gosh.
And I loved. Go ahead.
So no, the hope is motivation to keep searching for the thing, and I think our people, like by nature, are creatures that like a task, like something to hope. We are future driven.
We're working towards it.
Working towards it. Yeah. And when that goes away, that feels like, I say that when relationships end, like with clients, the hardest thing is the hardest thing is losing the relationship, but it's erasing that whiteboard that you've created in your mind of all of the future and how it's going to be and all that. And it's I got to erase all that. And with that goes the hope for the future.
Yeah.
And that is the part that, interesting.
Yes. And
it's
then
totally connected.
She talked about how, we think of saying when let's say your parent dies, we tend to say euphemisms, I lost my mom or whatever. And then she was saying how it really isn't a euphemism and that the word loss is rooted in sorrow and death, like the Hebrew, what did she say? It was it's an old English word, and it meant to perish and separate and cut apart. And so she was talking about how she literally felt at a loss, and how that phrase sounds like a place, which I thought was so interesting. You're located in it. Right? Isn't it so deep?
Beautiful, and it's also making me really think differently. I remember I took one class on, I think it was my trauma class. And we talked a lot about death and how to talk about death and things like that. And the advice that was given to my class that year was, and I assume the year before and the year before that, was to not use words like lost. When did you lose your parent? And to say things like, when did your parent die? Or when, and not say to be
Not
more
to beat
concrete
around
about
the
it.
bush, yeah.
But I disagree with that for the exact reasons that you're saying.
Yeah.
Because that's not respecting the process that the person is going through in their emotions. It's kind of like getting down to just like the I don't know, like the
like the clinical part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I
'cause
were to take that class again, I would reference this article. And be like,
because there's differences. Like if I said pass away, okay, that maybe that's more of a euphemism.
Yeah.
But saying I lost that person maybe speaks to the emotional feeling of it, you know, like homesick for a person or whatever, however they might describe it.
Yes.
And I thought anybody that's lost anybody would really benefit from this article. And the message at the end was that no matter what you've lost, whether it's your keys or your dad, that that it's a lesson in noticing that, you know, that you can still find these things, whether it's your dad or your keys, if you just start paying more attention and don't run from it, kind of.
Once again, comes down to being present and being mindful.
Yeah. It was really powerful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, because she was saying it was like a chain of loss. She lost her dad, and then, like, whatever team her dad rooted for lost the World Series. Then Hillary Clinton lost, and they were rooting for Hillary. And then she said, then she lost her motivation. And how that chain is so common. I know so many people.
Suze, I said it when I accidentally and this is so not even the same and silly and doesn't matter, but when on the very first day that I was supposed to go snowboarding, I had a brand new board, and not like new, it was new used. Like I bought it 2 years ago and never got to ride it. So I had never tried it. I was so excited. I got new boots, and I'm going to like put them on, and they don't fit into the bindings. So I have to go get new bindings for this thing. And then I go but bindings are so expensive. I'm like, I don't want to spend a lot of money. I just got back from taking care of my mom, Costa Rica, blah, blah, blah. It was so expensive. So I find some that are used. Well, the used ones don't fit on the board. It was a whole big thing. And I don't find out until like the morning of. This is before I'm supposed to go on my first date the next day to go snowboarding. And now I don't have a snowboard to ride. And guess what? They're all out of rentals everywhere because it's a Saturday and a really busy, ski weekend. And I said to the guy, I just really need a win right now. I uttered the phrase, I just really need a win. And luckily he hooked it up and I was able to get what I needed. But I feel like that is like kind of that feeling of like, I really need a win. It just feels like loss. And I think a lot of people are feeling that with the last 3 years, where it feels like you get a little bit ahead and then just like, so much loss.
Yeah, there was actually this article on NPR that was about that feeling and what it can create. So like you said, where, okay, we get the vaccine or whatever, so things are looking up, and then this variant comes, and then they're looking down, and it's been this like back and forth for a really long time. And how for some reason, what it lends itself to are these like 2-minute trends, which they called them garbage trends. But like the examples they gave were, funnily enough, sea shanties. And for real,
I'm dying.
Sea shanties, and then
it's always good.
Do you remember also on TikTok when there was that weird recipe with the feta cheese and the tomatoes? Like they were selling out of feta across the country.
And then it happened again with the tuna, rice, mayo, and the seaweed wraps. I bought it.
And were they good?
I bought the last box.
God, so bad.
Hang on.
Oh my God, it's happening. If she starts singing a sea shanty, oh my God.
This is the actual box. That was the last box because I
That's nori?
Partook in the 2-minute garbage trend.
And was it yummy?
Didn't even follow through on it because just did it. Haven't even had the meal yet. I just wanted to do it to feel clearly whatever this is. The thing that you're talking about is I thought maybe this would make it better if I got the last.
Exactly. That's what it's saying.
Yes.
It's the confluence of that feeling where you want to be a part of something fun. You want that thing that you described in the last episode. Like, I just want to feel good for a second.
Yes.
But then also the machine element of the algorithm sort of having to rotate trends constantly.
Oh, good.
It's a perfect storm of garbage. We are doomed.
Oh, my God.
But I like knowing what motivates the human brain and how we're animals still. And, you know, it has consequences.
You have to be so intentional.
Yeah, and it's every day. Like, you're never done. You're never like, okay, now I got it. You have to try again every day.
Why do you think we made that hard being a person shirt?
Yeah, for sure.
That's it.
Garbage trends. I'm just writing that down for my notes. Garbage trends. Yeah.
That is so funny to me.
Yeah, so...
You taught me so much this episode.
Did I? Oh,
Yes.
one last thing, because this is crazy, probably not to anyone else but me, but evidently there are whoops, I messed up my Zoom. There are two totally different companies that make Girl Scout cookies, and depending on where you live...
You didn't know this?
No! Why?
Because they can't, like... They gotta, like, source it from over here and then source it from over there.
Well, then make them the same.
It's
They're
like,
all different.
They are. I heard this.
Like, we've been living a lie.
Yeah, like, I think your certain ones on the East Coast taste better than the ones that, like, I think our peppermint patties and Samoas are where it's at. But I don't know. You guys talk
you
about
mean your
that
Thin
with peanut
Mint?
butter ones. Oh, yeah, what'd I say? Peppermint patties? No,
Yeah.
that's not it.
But they look like the same.
Thin mint, yeah.
There was an article, maybe Dahlia could put this in the newsletter too. It's Pilot Online was the outlet, but they talked about this Girl Scout cookie thing, and then they rated them. There was a survey they did with all these people to determine what were the best. And it was it varied between, it wasn't like one bakery was the winner. It depended on the cookie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can't take that. So if you
I
want
like that.
really good trefoils,
Who wants those?
me, they're so good.
What even are those?
They're shortbread cookies. They're butter cookies.
Oh, my God. You like those? I'm about to close this damn Zoom.
What is wrong with you?
Who likes those? That's why you married a British guy who likes biscuits. And then all of a sudden you're eating the most boring. That's like vanilla ice cream of the
Number one, I did not say they were my favorite. I did think it was funny to say trefoil. But I do like them. Yeah, what if? They're good, though. With a cup of tea.
Fair. You're so right. You're so
my
right.
favorites are definitely Thin Mints and Samoas. But
okay, right. See, that's why I said part-time.
Yeah, but that's
regular
not
one.
funny because that's everybody's favorite. Who is eating those do-si-dos? That's what I want to know.
You're saying things and I don't even know what they are. What even is that?
For real?
I have no clue.
Okay, wait. Let me see if I can find the description.
Do-si-do?
And then I'll let you guys go.
Do-si-no. Don't know what that is.
Do-si-do cookies. It's a sandwich cookie with peanut butter filling. Oatmeal cookies. With peanut butter filling.
Oatmeal cookies? I do not even know. That doesn't exist. There's no way you can get that on the West Coast.
Okay.
That's never been an option. No.
Wow.
Okay, why am I angry?
I don't know, but I'm angry.
Wind it down, Sarah.
No, I'm angry that there are two bakeries that, like, after all these fucking years, the Girl Scouts can't get it together. Get a bakery! Like, what are you doing? Outsourcing.
I feel like this is the same as why they can't have In-N-Out everywhere.
Okay, that's true, because it is about that. The distribution of the fresh patties, they said.
This is a distribution problem.
Yeah, right. We're just like that movie, Don't Look Up, because we don't care about climate change either. When it comes to Girl Scout cookies, we're like, I am outraged.
Cookies! Oh, God.
Anyway, I guess you guys can say what you think about these cookies. I can't wait to do a poll to see which one's their favorite.
Yeah.
It's got to be Samoa's, right?
It's going to be, what the hell word
Trefoils. I'm going to buy a box.
Trefoils sound like, okay, you know what trefoils sound like? Trefoils sound like something that you have, so they just discovered this this life on Mars, like it exists. It's like a teeny tiny microbe, and kind of like those ones that you can zoom in on that look like little bears, and they have an adorable little name.
Yeah.
The trefoils.
That's what they're called in Sarah's brain.
Yeah, that's like what it falls into. That sounds like a more appropriate name for that. Not a cookie.
You know what? I'm sending you a box, and you're going to be singing a different tune.
I probably will.
And
I'll have it with a cup of tea with my amazing honey that you got me.
I mean, they're not elaborate. I mean, they're very simple.
Are they lemon?
No, I hate those.
I don't like those either.
They have lemon ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those
fuck that. I don't like fruit in my dessert, period.
I don't like that. It's too fake. It's like a fake lemonade taste. Don't come after me, Girl Scouts.
This is so funny.
Right.
All right.
Gone off the rails.
Okay. My mom got scammed. I got a spray tan thing. Sarah.
This has been one of my favorite episodes, I think. Remember when Adam spray tanned Susie? And it was worse than the challenge.
Worst experience of my life. But I'll do it again next week. That's how bad it was. Okay.
Beauty is pain, Susie.
A woman got stuck on a first date. The world's not ending. The usual. All right, people. Don't forget to check out our patreon.com/braincandy and leave us a 5-star review and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.